Hi. When I say truth is paradoxical, what I mean is that all of our personal grasp of what is true is usually limited and subjective. We look at the world from our own perspective. As limited human beings, we cannot grasp the complexity of everything that is the case in the world. It's just too complicated. To begin to get a sense of what is true about something, we do science. We observe something carefully over a long period of time from all different directions to analyze it and register all its different properties. And even that doesn't give us the truth, because the truth of something only becomes clear over time and in use, in action. And in that action, we need to learn to get on with that thing for a very long time and in many different ways. But that is only, physical objects that we can study in that way. The human experiences and the human realities are far more complex than that. And to get the hang of what is actually happening for a person, what really their experience truly is, you need to be with that person for a very long time, or you need to be that person yourself for a very long time and make very careful observations. And you will find that 1 minute you feel this way and the next minute you feel another way. And so the truth about how you relate to the world is actually infinitely complex and always varying and changing. Now, when we look at human interaction, it gets even more complicated. So one person's subjective experience put together with that of other people, you get a moving feast. You get a reality that is always changing, always in movement, and always inventing new sides to the argument and always understanding things in novel and new ways. This is what I call ontodynamics. It's not just about the psychology, it's about the interactions, it's about the relationships, and it is about things changing in time. That dimension of time is hugely important to everything we understand about the world. And obviously, as human beings who only live for 70, 80, 90 years, we cannot have a very long-term perspective at all. We can't have the perspective from infinity that you would have to have in order to really grasp the truth of anything in a dynamic way properly. Now, when we go beyond personal experiences and interpersonal experience towards making statements about what is true in terms of ideas or ontology or being of what is actually the case in the world, in the universe, it gets far more complicated than any of this. And that is not just a matter of making physical observations about the cosmos. It's not just about astronomy. It's not just about making measurements. It's about understanding how in the abstract certain principles may be true or not true, and how we can possibly know about that. So take a very simple concept, that of love, which is about joining with others, reaching out to them, opening up to them, actually wanting to be connected to what they are or what that is, and to be completely non-defensive with them and inviting to letting their being be real. Well, to really get the hang of such a concept, you need to also understand how that concept is in constant contrast and contradiction with its opposite. Having to push somebody away, having to feel a sense of hatred, having to feel a sense of self-defense when you think that the other might invade your territory. it's incredibly complex. And so when I say truth is paradoxical, what I mean is that you can only begin to have that view from infinity, that view from extra temporality, as it were, if you allow yourself to go around these concepts in your own experience and explore them with an open mind. If you start out by saying this or that is the truth, then essentially you're just approaching truth from a very limited perspective, from a dogmatic perspective, from a human perspective, rather than trying to go beyond the human subjective positioning and learn to investigate together towards finding out the wider truth, the meta truth that surely are somewhere to be found above our own narrow perspectives and experiences. And that is what I think human existence is very much about, to keep opening up to truth, to love truth, and to always be willing to see that each side of it has something to contribute to it. And it is only by opening up to it and keep investigating and going around the houses of all these many different subjective experiences to draw some conclusions about what finally we may be able to know about truth.